Before you watch this video, you should go to guitarinfusion.com right now and download my free course, the Music Theory DNA course. In that course, I'm going to teach you how I view music theory. It's way simpler than you think. Go do it right now, guitarinfusion.com, and let's get into this video. Hi everyone, today we are going to talk about building chords or scales at will. It's super simple. It has to do with intervals. I'm going to show you the master shape, which yes, we have covered before, but let's do it again. This is going to be super fun, but first, this. Hi, my name is David Wallerman. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players find their unique voice on the instrument, develop it to tell their own musical story. You have something beautiful to say, musically that is very different from anyone else. Let's learn how to develop that voice and tell that unique, beautiful story. And today, we're going to take a look at how to build any musical elements. I'm sure it happened to you where the keyboard player asks you to play a major seventh and then he asks you to add a ninth and you might be a little confused. Not anymore with this. This all has to do with intervals. Chords, chord extensions, formulas, music theory all has to do with intervals, the distance between two notes. I say this often, but a note by its own is just a sound. That sound has no emotional value unless it's played in relation to another sound, whether that sound is before in a melodic element. Now that sound, that pitch becomes something, or it could be played in a chord. So if that note is heard in this chord, it's got an emotional value to it. Now that note could also be heard in a different chord, this one. Now that same pitch becomes something else, right? So it all has to do with intervals. Intervals, there are 12 of them. There's really more if you consider octaves, but really there are 12 unique types of intervals. And I'm going to teach you the master shape that we're going to use to figure out anything. Let me show you the shape. You might know it already. It's the major scale shape in the caged system. If you don't know what caged is, don't worry about it. Just learn this shape. We're going to work in this area of the fretboard between frets 5 and 7, but you can recycle this shape anywhere you want. It doesn't matter. You can move that shape. But here it is. I'm going to start on the low E string. Make sure that you memorize this. We've got two notes here, frets 5, 7. On the next string, we have 4, 5, 7. On the next one, 4, 6, 7. Next one, 4, 6, 7 again. And then on the second string, we have frets 5, 7. And on the first string, 4, 5, 7. Please memorize that shape. Without it, you're going to be completely lost, and watching the rest of the video is going to be a total waste of your time. That shape really needs to be memorized. And as you're doing this, now we're going to add numbers to it. Numbers go like this. 1 is the first note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then, yes, we have 8, but that 8 is also a 1. So it does a big circle like that. When you have 8, 8 is basically the octave of 1, which is, they both have the same name. These pitches are both A's. One is higher than the other, but they have the same function. So just know that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1, 9, or 2, 10, or 3, and so forth. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1, 2. Okay, so that's our shape. That shape lists all the intervals, kind of, because as you saw, there are some missing notes in there, right? Between the 5th and the 7th fret, there's another note in here. We're going to get to that, but that shape lists all the perfect or the major intervals. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about characteristics of intervals. Just take my word for it. That's the way it is. All intervals can be major or minor, except for the 4th and the 5th. Those are perfect. Those are awesome. So now that shape lists all the perfect and the major intervals. Remember, any interval could be major or minor except for the 4th and the 5th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a perfect 4th. 5, that's a perfect 5th. In other words, the distance between this note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the first one is an interval of 5 or 5th, right? It's not the note itself that is 5. No, that's the interval. Okay? So just keep that in mind. All the notes that we're counting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1, 2, are really distances that are measured to that first note that we're playing. Okay? If you don't know the shape yet, pause the video, memorize it. Here it is again. You should be able to visualize that shape without even touching your guitar. Okay, here's the exercise. From this note, the 6th string, 5th fret, could you please play a 5th? So visualize it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the 5? You should be playing the 5th string, 7th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the note you're playing. Okay. Now, could you play from the same note, which is called the root? Could you play a major 7th? Okay. So you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You should be playing the 4th string, 6th fret. All right. Let's do one more. From the same note again, could you play a 9th? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. You should be playing this note right here, this pitch, which is the 3rd string, 4th fret, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, got it? Great. So we can now play any major interval or perfect interval from any given note really on the low E string, because those shapes are movable. Any shape that doesn't involve open strings are movable shapes. So if now you want to figure out the 7th of this note, which is now on the 7th fret, same exact master shape, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's the major 7th. Okay, now I am going to tell you about the other types of intervals. Every major interval can be made minor by moving the landing note 1 fret below towards the neck of the guitar. Okay, cool. So now back to our major and perfect interval shape. And you're counting in your head 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so forth. Could you play a minor 7th from that note, which is the low E string, 5th fret? Use your master shape, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know that the master shape lists all the major and perfect intervals. Move that 7th 1 fret below. You should be playing the 4th string, 5th fret. Okay, let's do another one. Let's now find the minor 3rd of that note. 1, 2, 3, that's major. 1, 2, 3, 1 fret below, that's minor. Okay, now let's play a little game. Let's say that we're in a position here, we're playing something, and that minor 3rd is outside of the area you're trying to target, and it's making a really difficult fingering, so try to find that note, that pitch, somewhere else. There's one possibility. So just fish around, you know? So you don't want to play it on the 3rd fret, 5th string. Maybe you want to try to find it on another string. If you're trying to find it on the 4th string, you're not going to find it because the lowest note we have on the 4th string is higher than the note we want here. So it's probably going to be on the low E string. And fish around. there it is. That sounds similar. Yep. That note on the low E string 8th fret is also a minor third, same pitch. Remember I told you at the beginning of this video that you can find the same pitch on different strings, different frets on the guitar. That's what happens, and that's very useful when you get into fingering things, which we will get in a little bit. Okay, there's one more piece of information I want to give you here. Remember that 4th and that 5th that we had? The perfect 4th and perfect 5th? 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect 4th, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect 5. Perfect 5th. There's a note in between here. What do we do about that? Well, some might be tempted to call it a minor 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 fret lower. Well, the reasoning is good, but that's not it. Because the 4th and the 5th can never be major or minor. They're just perfect. Or diminished or augmented. You can alter, that's a fancy word to say change. You can change the nature of an interval of a 4th and a 5th by moving it 1 fret below, half step below, or 1 fret above, half step above. And if you do it below, that becomes diminished. If you do it above, that becomes augmented. So there are 3 types of fifths that you can find. You have the perfect 5th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have the diminished, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 fret below. And the augmented, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that. If you understood and memorized everything I said so far, you can build any chords you want with that technique. So let's give that a try. We're going to start with a very, very simple chord that you probably know. You know the horrible, dreaded major F major chord that you learned when you were, starting out. The first bar chord probably. That is really difficult. You can move it along. Well, let's take a look at this bar chord right here. What do we have? Well, the lowest note is going to be our 1. If you analyze all the other notes, like where does this note fall according to my master shape? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a 5th. Okay, that's a 5. Now, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1. Okay, so far we have a chord with a root and a 5th. That's what we have. Root, 5, octave, root. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1. 9, 10, or 3, that's a third. It's a major third, right? Because it's within our shape. So that's a major chord. And then this note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or 5, and so forth. And you can analyze anything using that master shape. Sometimes the notes that you're going to play are not falling directly in that master shape. That means that these notes are minor, maybe, or diminished, or augmented. They're just altered. But that's what we have. Okay, now you have the power to build chords. Okay, we're gonna start with that shape, that chord shape that we have here. So it's a bar chord, and we have from the low E string to the high E string frets 5, 7, 7, 6, 5, 5. Okay, that's the shape that we have. I want you to add to that chord a major 7th. Okay, so use your master shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 right here. Okay, so this, you can't play the 7 because it's just below the octave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's just below, but we don't need to have 2 roots here. We already have one right here. We already have a 1. 2 1s are just adding more power to the chord. But they're not giving any more new information to the listener. So we can move the pinky maybe 1 fret below, but that's very, very difficult. So we're not going to do that. That is high-pitched. We're not going to do that. We're just going to try to figure out a way to have basically 5, 7, 6, 6, 5, 5. And we could do this fingering right here, which is index is doing the bar still. Now the pinky is playing that 5th, so that the middle finger can play the major 7th, and the ring finger is going to play the major 3rd. Okay, so that's how you can do it. We can do the same exact thing with scales. I'm gonna have you build the scale now. We're gonna consider this same note here to be the root. So the formula of the scale that we're gonna play is gonna have a root, a major second, so go ahead and play that, a major third, an augmented fourth, so use your master shape, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll play that after. An augmented fourth, a fifth, a major sixth, which falls into the master shape, and a major seventh. And you should be playing this. Low E string, frets 5 for the root, 7 for the major second. The third is in our master shape. That's on the 5th string, 4th fret. Augmented fourth, so master shape 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 fret higher. That's the 5th string, 6th fret. The perfect fifth is on the 5th string, 7th fret. Major sixth is on our master shape and major seventh. So it's just like the master shape, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, except for the fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is augmented, 5, 6, 7. That happens to be the Lydian mode, but you don't need to know. As long as you know the formula, you can do it. And that gets into matching elements in music. Like if you have a chord that has, if you have that chord that we were playing earlier, root, and that fingering, root, major seventh, major third, fifth, root, could you play that scale that we just built? Yes. Why? Because we don't have any conflicting intervals. If I had a chord with a major third and a scale with a minor third, those are conflicting. Or if I had a chord with a perfect fourth and then my scale has an augmented fourth, those are conflicting. That creates what we would call a cluster with two notes that are very close to each other. That's dissonant, which can be cool, but all that to say that on that chord that we built, we could play that scale that we also built. It's going to work. So that's what I had for you today, and you can take this knowledge and master it, commit it to memory. This is going to serve your lifetime, and you can then go into other things, maybe to facilitate your playing. Instead of using just this master shape, figure out how to play that in different positions. That's really going to help you. But it's a lifetime, it's a journey. This is probably the piece of knowledge that helped me the most in my whole career as a musician. Knowing those intervals, knowing how to alter them, and knowing how it all works. I hope this helps you. This really is the lesson that unlocks so many things. It's kind of the key that allows you to view all my other 1,030-ish lessons. I've been lacking a social life for about 10 years now. If you want a recap of everything that we said, explained in a different way, a new light, but it's going to really help you make sense of all this, you should visit guitarinfusion.com and sign up to my free Music Theory DNA course. A lot of you have already, but some have not, and I highly recommend it. It's completely free. It goes into this kind of stuff with a different approach, but those two approaches are really complementary. I think it's going to help you. You should do it right now, guitarinfusion.com. And if this was your first visit, you should subscribe, because every week 3 videos like this one come out helping guitar players like you find your voice, develop it on the instrument to tell your own personal musical story. Thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think below. I'd love to know if you want more of this kind of content, and practice well. I'll see you next time.